or first of all, we don't get on track with Travis in the August version. I promised him we would test. He didn't get to test. It was very unfortunate. Actually, the first time the car was even on the racetrack in our possession was on race day during morning practice.
Didn't run until midnight.
Yeah, the night before.
Yeah.
So I go ahead and get in the race car on Saturday morning. I go out. I'm running. The car is handling fine and operating fine other than an electrical issue, which we kept having, and it would run good for like 3 laps, and then it would start stumbling. And it wasn't a carburetor stumble or like a fuel pickup stumble. This was something electrical, and we couldn't figure it out. So that was frustrating. But we got to a point where I'm like, holy shit, if I don't let Travis get in the car, this dude is going to go straight into like regular practice and qualifying and never even driven an asphalt anything in his whole life. So I'm like, okay, we got to get Travis in the car.
And this is only my second race. My first race ever was a week before.
Which wasn't even really a race.
Yeah, I broke there too.
Yeah, he made 1 lap there, and that was on dirt.
Yeah.
So no comparison whatsoever. So Travis is strapping in, and I'm going to let him tell you exactly. So I kind of laid it out for him because I thought he was going to be timid.
Yeah. So one, like me and Landon have both come to the conclusion I'm not scared behind the wheel.
At all.
Yeah, so...
Which I didn't know, to be fair.
And he shouldn't have. And then also, Landon also has a bad habit of forgetting that I've never raced anything ever in my life before. So he will not get mad at me necessarily, but just expect me to know things that I don't know.
I have a bad problem with holding Travis to a high expectation when there shouldn't be an expectation held.
Right. My expectation is don't destroy the car and learn every lap. And Landon is like,
got there.
Why in the hell didn't you run top 5? Like, we should have run top 5. I'm like, well, I've never done this before.
There's 3 tenths you're leaving out in the middle of 3 and 4.
Well, and then I go searching for those and I end up backwards. But
or sideways at least.
Yeah. Did a lot of that. But so I'm strapped in, getting ready to go out my first laps in a race car, really, and Landon comes up and he goes, hey, like, I know it's not running right. Just go out there, get you some laps. Don't be a pussy. I don't care what happens. That was the worst thing he could have told me.
So after that, I proceed to put my headset on and I climb up our ladder to our little viewing tower on our 24-foot enclosed. Mm-hmm. And we're down in turn 1 where we park, so you can see all the front stretch down through 1 and 2.
Well, speaking of trailers, real quick, pulling in, the car fell off because I was on the open trailer.
We had one of the worst looking open trailers possible, and that's what we took it to the track with, pulled by Travis's F-150.
Yeah, and so I'm angry at Traffic Man over there directing traffic because he had an attitude problem that morning, and then my car falls off the trailer. So we were destined for failure.
Yeah, it was just that. Yeah, you're right. That was just frustrating start. But anyways, I climb up this ladder, and Travis gets onto the racetrack. I'm thinking, okay, he's going to get out here, scuff his tires, fill the brakes out. Like, he's going to go pretty slow for a while. So we go slow for like a half a lap, clear up and get in line. And then I see him come off of 4, and I'm like, oh, dear God.
Letting her eat.
Yeah, like he was full bore. Like this guy's never drove down into the corner at all in anything.
I got off 4 pretty good, though.
And he was hammered to the mat. So he drives it literally until he saw Jesus Christ himself getting down into turn 1.
He was telling me,
whoa. Yeah, there's a cemetery out in turn 1 outside the racetrack, and Travis almost ended up there literally and figuratively.
Held me.
No. So there's a tire barrier at the crossover gate in turn 1.
I was full throttle until that tire barrier.
And
maybe then some.
We overdrove the corner by at least 3 car lengths. And then while he's doing this, he still hasn't lifted, and I'm yelling on the radio,
brakes, God!
having a literal heart attack.
Yeah.
Like I thought our day was ending right there. So anyways.
So did everyone else, apparently, too.
Yeah, it was awesome and scary at the same time, but it would have been like the perfect ending. It would have saved us from a lot of headache. So basically what happened was, yeah.
I'd have done us all a favor if I just kept her mad and drove her head on in the wall.
After that, Travis pulled left to come in. I told him to stay on the bottom. We had the car really low to the racetrack anyways, probably too low. We had an oil pan that wasn't the short oil pan on it, so it was close to dragging as well. It wasn't dragging at normal speed, but when Travis pulled in, he didn't know, in his defense, that staying low at Hickory just means stay in the bottom grooves.
Well, and my thought process there's still guys out here at speed, so I'll just go to the apron. I didn't know that there were literal speed bumps down there to keep people from racing down there.
Yeah, there's like whoop-de-whoops.
Yeah,
That's a good way to describe them. Whoop-de-whoops.
So Travis hooked the left across the whoop-de-whoops, knocked the bottom of the oil pan off, and then come in and stopped.
And I had no idea. I came in getting out, and I'm like, hell yeah, I showed them I wasn't a pussy. There's a puddle of oil under my car,
Yeah.
and everybody's breathing heavy, and I'm like, what's wrong, guys? Like, I didn't do that bad.
So my dad and Rich and Jason and everybody get under this damn thing, epoxy it back with this like little makeshift aluminum plate, and we're like, okay, we're good.